I'll be doing this. Till the love and soul. There's many hours from 35 till the love and down. I'll be running.
Yes, Hairless here. Today we're back with a Patreon request. Thank you to Lupe for this one. This is a cover of Love Runs Out by One Republic. It's being performed by two Forestella members, Bae Doo-hoon, whom I call the baritone tenor because he's a baritone, but an incredible range, and Kang Hyung-ho. He's the countertenor of the group, but he also has an incredible range. I'm told they're singing with... Now, I have googled these guys, and there are different spellings of their names in different sources, so apologies if my pronunciation isn't good, but they're singing with Hyung-Kyun, who's from a crossover quartet called Edel Reinklang, and Tae-In from a crossover group called Miraclass. This performance is from a show called The Phantom Singer. So the original song, it's a bit of a head bopper. It's quite repetitive, it's not complex musically. There are a lot of repeated chords and notes that aren't many chord changes at all. The purpose is not to be musically intricate, it's just to get you feeling it. And yeah, bopping your head. And I think that song, it does a brilliant job of that. It's almost a bit tribalistic or ritualistic in a way. It weirdly reminds me of some of Avi Kaplan's work that we've seen here on this channel. Very beat heavy. And in the video here we see these huge drums. So it'll be interesting to see what this crossover quartet, literally crossing over as well between the various groups, do with this song. Let's get straight into it.
Wow.
Is that worthy of a wow? Very cool, nice and synchronized.
I'll be your light, your match, your burning sun. I'll be the bride in black that's making you run. And we feel low, and we feel low, cause we work it out, yeah, we work it out. I'll be doing this if you had a doubt, till the love runs out, till the love runs out. I'll be your ghost, your game, your stadium. I'll be the 50,000 clapping like one. And I feel alright, yeah, I feel alright, cause I work it out, yeah, I work it out. I'll be doing this if you had a doubt, till the love runs out, till the love runs out. I got my mind made up and I can't let go.
Alright, because of the structure of the song, if I keep going then we're going to listen to way too much and I'm going to forget what we've just heard. So I'm going to do my first pause here. If you don't want to hear my analysis, go to the timestamp. Very, very interesting this. I mean, I'm going to speak about it in a second, but it seems, especially from what we just saw before we paused, that it's a very versatile group, but we'll dig into that in a second. So back to the beginning, we had that suspenseful opening where everyone was going, wow. I'm not sure why. Are these performances a surprise to the other people? They don't know who the groups are or something? I don't know. As for the music, it's in the same key as the original song. The same introduction too. We have a beat, we have the repeated piano notes. Which means our focus is going to be on the voice because there's not much going on. So this is Bae Doo-hoon of Forestella. He enters, yet not too much to say here. It's pretty much the same as the original. It's setting the scene. It's setting the scene. I do like his vibrato towards the end of the phrases though, especially here. Cause we work it out. Yeah, we work it out. Also, stylistically, this is remarkably similar to the original. If I find this bit, we can see that the vocals there are quite heavily treated. It's got a bit of reverb in there and whatever else might be in there. Bae Doo-hoon does a really, really good job of capturing that sort of essence. Cause we work it out. Yeah, we work it out. Then Kang Hyung-ho enters, the countertenor from Forestella. I'll be your girl. Here. With Tae-In, the one from Miraclass. And I think Bae Doo-hoon, he now goes to his falsetto and sings the ooze in his head voice. And I think he does that along with Hyung-Kyun from Edel Reinklang.
lost your game, you stadium. I'll be the feet, 2,000 clapping like one.
So it seems that all these members, they are versatile, you know, they have their chest voice, they also have the falsetto that they can just sing with ease. And as always, I just want to mention Kang Hyung-ho's tone.
I'll be the feet, 2,000.
It's one of the purest falsettos or head voices out there, I think, at least from those that we've reacted to on this channel so far. So we then get our first bit of harmony.
'Cause I work it out, yeah, I work. I work it out, yeah, I work.
So they're easing us in. There's not really been harmony before, now there's a tiny bit. Easing us into what? Well, overall, it's very, very, very similar to the original song. There's not much difference at all, really, in terms of the arrangement. There seems to be the occasional extra note in the harmony or doubled up in unison or octaves. And as there are 4 singers here, then that's understandable. That should kind of be what they're doing. But overall, it's staying very true to the original song. This might be due to the format of the show, I'm not sure. Maybe there wasn't time to go away and come up with whole new arrangements like we've seen with Forestella before. An example of a small difference that they do. So here on the word doubt, we get 3-part harmony.
If you had a doubt till
In the original song,
if you ever doubt.
they're singing in unison. And here in this performance, the fact that only one person sings the first part of that line on If You,
If you had a doubt.
it makes the 3-part harmony that comes in even more obvious. Alright, so let's carry on from where we got to. At this point in the original song, there's a noticeable difference in the percussion
I got my mind made up, man.
with the hi-hat there. And we didn't get that just before I paused. So that's another example of how they've adjusted the texture in which instruments are sounding louder versus not. Again, this is probably for more focus on the voices as the percussion is more reserved.
I got my mind made up and I can't let go. I'm killing every second. This is my soul. I've been running. I've been running till the love is out, till the love is out, and we start a fire and we shut it down till the love is out, till the love is out. There's a maniac out in front of me, got an angel on my shoulder and unstoppably. Mama raised me good, Mama raised me right. Mama said, don't want you once to praise tonight. And I'm saying that because I'm so divine. Till the love is out, till the love is out. I got my mind made up and I can't
Good.
let go. I'm killing every second. This is my soul. I'll be running. I'll be running till the love is out. Till the love is out. I'll be starting fire. I'll be shouting down till the love is out. Till the love is out. Oh, we are one for something. We are one for something. Oh, we are one for something.
I was a little confused there because they're showing all these reactions to something. I'm thinking, show us what's happening on the stage, but then they quickly rewind. It looks like they're moving now, so let's do a pause there. Some really, really nice group, what's the word, chemistry going on there, and really nice blended sounds. Let's go over some of that. So there was this bit where we can see all the group names. So Forestella, Edel, Reinklang, and Miraclass. It's a very cool premise for a show, taking people from different groups and putting them together. So the Edel Reinklang member, he gets this kind of growly, higher chest voice melody.
I got my mind made up and I can't let go.
With the Miraclass member, the bass from Miraclass, he's underneath in octaves again. So the 2 Forestella guys, they now have the those oohs.
I'm made up and I can't let go. It's my soul. I've been running.
Oh yeah, I'd recognise Kang Hyung-ho's voice. So precise, and that tone just so smooth. His motif here
My soul. I've been running. I've been running
That's elongated. In the original song, it's a very catchy bit, I think, but listen how it's kind of cut off. Which is nice here to have it longer, because it means we get to hear more of his voice. And also there's more of a melodic flow. It goes down and then it gets to rise back up at the end. Nice 3-part harmony here as well, with Bae Doo-hoon singing the higher chest part.
I've been running, I've been running.
That's his baritone coming into play, because that's high for a baritone. It's a fairly discordant chord that we hear actually as well. And Hyung-Kyun, he's taking this higher part, this B flat up here. So again, it's this versatility coming into play. They can just sing whatever. Alright, then there was one bit which is like a, whoa, go on. The crazy thing is, we've heard him sing that top note, pretty much that top note, in his chest voice before. Versatility. So, now, Mr. Forestella countertenor, he is singing in harmony in thirds with the bass. He's singing 1/3 above the melody, but his harmonic role seems to have taken the dominant role. At least that's how I'm seeing it. That's the part I'm drawn to, but it's actually the lower part that is the melody. Maybe that's just me. Let me know if you feel the same. Hi, charming you, the Forestella leggero tenor. He's loving it. He's absolutely loving it. So we hear those strings coming in there. It's still very true to the original song because they do appear in it. But here they're much, much more noticeable. I'm wondering if it's because these are all crossover members, often considered classical crossover. So having a string instrument being a bit more prevalent rather than a hi-hat, for example, it might seem a bit more fitting. That was a really good bit though, sorry, so let's listen to this.
Mama raised me good, Mama raised me right, Mama said the one she wants to praise and I.
Ooh, I mean they all are, but Kang Hyung-ho, he's so good, it's not funny. It's not even funny. He can literally do everything. And in the comments, people tell me that he was a research chemist, I think, who sang part-time in a rock band. Yeah, what a find for Forestella. So with this performance, I like how each of the 4 singers, they have their role. You know, we've clearly got the bass on the right. Then in terms of pitch from low to high, up next would be Bae Doo-hoon on the left, the baritone as I call him. And then the 2 central guys, they're just so fluid. But I'd say generally speaking, Kang Hyung-ho, from what I've heard, is probably just a tiny bit higher overall. And speaking of the fluidity, he's chesting this B flat. That's super high tenor. And just before this, he has those oohs. Such a unique voice type. It reminds me of Mitch Grassi from Pentatonix. A chest voice that just kind of keeps going up forever and seamlessly switches to their head voice when needed. There was another bit just after that, kind of like an echo effect between them.
We are one for something. We are one for something.
They're making sure that their voices are pretty similar to each other in terms of timbre to really enhance this echo effect. Alright, well, let's carry on from where we got to the bit where they start moving positions and everyone is like, whoa! There's a lot of whoas going on in the audience here.
We start a fire. We shut it down. We start a fire. We are running for diamonds to shine. I'll be your light, your match, you burning sun. I'll be the bride in black, just making you run. I'll be your light, your match, your burning sun. I'll be the bride in black, that's making you run. I'll be the light, your match, your burning sun. I'll be the prize in black that's making you run. I got my mind made up and I can't let go. I feel it every second. It's my soul. I'll be running, I'll be running till the love runs out, till the love runs out. We shut it down till the love runs out, till the love runs out. I'll be your light, your match, your burning sun. I'll be the bright in black that's making you run. Alright, yeah, I feel alright, 'cause we worked it out. Yeah, we worked it out. And we started one, and we shut it down till the love runs out, till the love runs out, till the love runs out.
Ooh, a very, very tight ending.
Till the love runs out.
With a very, very light falsetto on the top. It's quite difficult to say who that is exactly. It's likely Hyung-Kyun. But yeah, a really great blended sound between them all. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Before we just go over some last bits from that final section, I don't want to be selfish and say that I wish the arrangement was a bit different to the original song, a bit changed in style. Please do let me know if you know why this isn't the case. Maybe they didn't have time or something. I'm not really familiar with the show or how it works. Or maybe they just kept it the same because the original song is a good song for its purpose, I think. Alright, so things are a bit more hyped now. We get this big high five.
We start a fire.
Yeah, that was a rather operatic phrase from Hyun-Kyun. And that goes straight into a very rocky phrase from the former part-time rock band member. I love that bit. But also underneath, it sounds like the two lower voices are singing perfectly in tune with each other. We can hear it on the word run. Anyway, the standout bit is the upper two voices. The lower part, very high, very powerful. But then the top part, Kang Hyung-ho with this glissando from to here. This note, that's the wow tenor moment. But there's just so much power because he's using a blended voice. He doesn't have to use the blended voice, but he is, just for the raw powerful sound. Then there were a couple of bits that it sounds like their voices have been treated somehow, maybe live or in post. Bae Doo-hoon. On that note, if there's no effect, then that's crazy. It almost sounds, I don't know, metallic? It sounds like the feeling. Did you ever lick a battery when you were younger? And it's that tingy feeling. That's how I imagine that sounds like. And a similar thing after that with Kang Hyung-ho. Very bizarre. And I think there was another example. Let me find it. Yeah, multiple of them. There has to be a tiny bit of effect applied, surely. If not, yeah, crazy. I don't know how they've done that. I mean, yeah, these four, they really work greatly together, don't they? There was the bit where they jump up. It's a shame the bass on the right doesn't jump. And then I think final bit was this nice polyphonic section that we had just before the end. We have the two non-Forestella members singing the melody in octaves. And then we've got the high. I wanted to say it was him, the bari tenor. I mean, it could be either of them, but I'm pretty sure that's the countertenor because there's another flowy bit sung in a falsetto that sounds more like his. Around there. Yeah, that was definitely a very, very tight performance. A lot of good things in there. And it goes without saying they're all great singers. I think they all had parts that allowed them to show off quite a bit, except for the bass from Miraclass. His role was just to kind of stay as a foundation, usually with the melody. But yeah, I did enjoy that. As I mentioned earlier, it would have been nice to have seen a different arrangement somehow, but I'm sure there's a reason why that isn't the case. Even if it's just personal preference that they didn't want to. That's just me being selfish. Alright, let's leave that one there. Thank you for this request, and thank you to everyone for watching. Would appreciate a like and subscribe. If you enjoy my content, want to support me, gain access to perks, please do join the Patreon linked on the screen now, and I will see you next time.